Resin and silicone go together about like oil and water. They separate. If you hit resin with silicone, this is what it does. And when you do it on purpose, even better because you can control where it goes. How cool is this? Who would have thought that you could do this with silicone? Plain old silicone oil. So, if you want to know how I did this and how you can do it too, watch the video. You won't regret it. You will not regret it. Go there now. I'm going to do another experiment with resin and silicone. And normally, the two don't mix. But that is not going to stop me today. I'm just really curious about how creative we can get and what we can do with it. So I'm just using these Dollar Tree glasses. These are pint glasses. And I'm just using the pool noodles to attach them onto my turner. And then if I need to add smaller pieces, I can do that. And that's the nice thing about these pool noodles is they're very flexible. And we can get them pretty level. These aren't going to be level anyway, just because of how they are, but okay. So I'm going to use two colors. Let me get you down here where you can see. So I've got a cup that I'm going to put some of my aqua mica powder, and then my other cup I'm going to use the eye candy no con blue, and then I want a little bit of white, the ocean white. So I'm going to pour. I don't really need that much white. A little goes a long way when you're doing these waves. So I'm going to set that aside, and then I'm going to put equal amounts in the two cups. And I probably have, that's probably pretty equal. Yeah. So in this cup, I'm going to put the teal that my mica powder fairy sent to me, Katie Donnelly, one of my subscribers. And it's my favorite color. It is so pretty. And then this is the eye candy no con blue. It is a absolute gorgeous, gorgeous blue. And I'm probably putting in, I'd say probably not even a quarter teaspoon maybe. And then in my cup is the Let's Resin Ocean White. And this is a liquid pigment paste. And I don't know why it's kind of gloppy right there. I'm gonna have to clean that off because I know it's gonna make a mess if I don't. I'm just gonna take my paper towel and wipe it off real quick. There we go. And seal that up. And then I can use this to stir it. And I'm probably being very ambitious today because I only have about an hour, less than an hour now, to spare before I have plans this afternoon. Now, when you're mixing mica powder in with resin, you want to stir it really, really well so that you get rid of all the dry spots, all the clumps, because that's going to show up on your glass later on. So just stir it and kind of squish it. Look how pretty that is. And this eye candy blue is probably my second favorite color blue. My first favorite being the liquid resin dye from MICAS resin in the turquoise. But this one's got a little metallic shimmer to it, so I wanted to use that. Okay. So I'm not going to resin to the top, and I'm not going to resin this bottom part because I think that's really pretty. So I'm probably going to be pretty random because remember I'm doing two colors and I want the two colors to blend. I'm only going to do like the bottom 3/4 of the glass. I'm not going to go all the way to the top because although the resin itself is food safe, the additives are not. So I don't want to resin all the way to the top because then there is a chance of resin contamination. Or not contamination, but I'm just going to do a voiceover for that and explain. I want to get the rest of this. And I'm probably still going to get some of that on the bottom, I would think. It might, some of it might get on there, but I can wipe it off. And I think I might drizzle this. No, I better not. Ooh, that's so pretty. I think I might just do that. Ooh, that's so pretty right there, y'all. Look at that. That is going to turn out pretty amazing, I think. All right, let me get a little bit in there like this. Not a lot, but I'm already dripping. God, that blending these two colors, that was a really good idea. I don't know whose idea that was. Oh, I think it was mine. Oh my gosh, these little drips driving me crazy. All right, so this leftover, I'm just gonna do some random white stripes and those will blend in. We're gonna blend those in. I just dripped a huge thing on the floor. Keep going on low heat and high air. And you want to heat up the resin. And then I'm just pushing with my heat gun. So the heat is on, it's on medium. And so the heat is heating up the resin and it allows that movement. And then that's really pretty. And then you can move it by hand too. So the pool noodle moves on the turner arm because it's not really tight. And so you're able to really, catch, oh, that's hot, catch the drips before they happen. But I tell you, you got to work so fast with this resin because it is curing super fast. And see, the more it heats up and the more you blow, the more you're going to get that spread with the resin. And it's going to kind of bloom out. Okay. I almost could leave these like they are, but I really have been wanting to play with this silicone. And that's the whole purpose of doing this today. I'm going to use this pen, and there's a tiny little bit of silicone on here. So I really want to try to get tiny little cells, just like that. Oh my gosh, look. Oh, that's freaking cool. Tell you, there is not much on this pen at all. Well, look at that. That is flippin' cool. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's try this one. There is just the tiniest amount. That's really cool. It's going to keep spreading. So like look at this one. So this is the first silicone drops that I put, and they're going to continue to spread and repel that resin. So that's why I didn't want to use this. I wanted to use a little pen. This one seems to be staying put. So I really like that. I don't want to put any more. I don't want to put any more on there. Look at that. Did get a little, I got some cleanup to do, but this is amazing. So there's not very much residue because there's not very much silicone on the little pen anyway. I wish you could feel the texture. This is so textured and it's nice and smooth. This is what I've been looking for as far as textured resin. And I still have my wave. So let's just clean this up. That's just from me getting a little sloppy. That's all I gotta do. Just like that with my X-Acto knife, and then I'll hit that with a paper towel and some alcohol, which I always clean my glasses when I get to a show and I'm setting up my booth and everything, because they can get a little dusty. Ooh, God, that's so gorgeous. So amazing. Look at that. Wow. Yeah, I'll just hit that with some alcohol. This is so amazingly effective. And it's an easy, easy way to make a textured wine glass with lots and lots of pretty swirls and pretty colors. This is definitely going to be in my rotation, my craft show rotation. So what do you think? I have a few more pint glasses that I'm going to do for my next show, and I think these are going to be a big hit. I just need to clean up the rim a little bit with some alcohol and a paper towel, but this is definitely something you need to try. Definitely need to try it right now. Go do it right now. Go. All right, make it a crafty day, friends. Bye.